Hello there and welcome. Look how unprofessional that transition was. So that's why I need your help. Hello there and welcome to another stream where I beg for money, but I also, in exchange, will show a lot of cool stuff from the archives, a retrospective coupled with begging for money. And people who tuned in last time, I know that they got a kick out of my story from the old public radio days where I was on the air with an old school public radio dude who was in the pledge drive, and the Americans know what I'm talking about. There's a pledge drive where public radio stations basically ask for monetary support from their listeners. And there used to be this old school guy, Jim Davis, who went on the air in the morning and said, "You who are listening right now in your car, you are a freeloader and you know it. If you don't call us right now, you are you're making us work for free. Your coffee, your Starbucks coffee costs 3 times more than the basic pledge amount that we're asking from you." Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. But basically, if you're new to this, or if you're tuning in, and if you did not participate last time, this, by the way, and I'm jumping back and forth, is the new logo of the Drax Files made in SL, which hopefully will be coming back. This real life photo is a placeholder. This is good old Gustav, who's in a lot of my movies, the virtual version and the physical version. And this is a younger me who just started working as a Linden Lab contractor back in 2014. And you know what? For Mystic is on the stream. Hello, everybody, and type your name in the stream on YouTube, and also if you're coming in World, I'm not gonna disclose where I am, but you might find me. Here's the hint: books, books, and more books. So hello Dex, hello Judy Lynn, hello Racer, hello Power, and hello Shyla, of course, and Mystic. Now, where were we? Yeah, we're talking about. We're talking about public radio where I started. And the funny thing, and just quickly to summarize what we're talking about, I was a Linden Lab contractor for 10 years. In the first 5 years, it was not full time. Linden Lab sponsored my Drax Files series with an undisclosed amount and gave me complete freedom. And then the last 5 years, until last month, I did many, many videos. Most all of the videos on the official Second Life YouTube channel. A bunch of other really talented people participated, of course, as well. But my stuff was more the sort of SL destination guide fly-throughs, as we call them. So a little eye candy that you just saw a little montage of, and then of course the more involved narrative pieces in the Made in SL series, and also other pieces which I would maybe classify as human interest stories. Going in and interviewing people and finding out what is their motivation to do stuff in SL, and thereby, and this is sort of my large goal, for better or for worse. And I was joking last time, all I wanted out of life is to be a touring musician with Suzanne Vega or play in a Kiss cover band as Peter Criss. But now I'm this hobby ethnographer. And what I want to do is to create an archive of this world, so we have something to look back on, as much as I can. And I need your help. I need your help. Look at how serious I am. I need your help. I need 100 supporters. I need 100 sustaining supporters. Please go to kofi.com/Dragster. And the support starts at $1 per month. You can also donate Linden dollars. Now, I am not looking to make this a profitable enterprise. I just need to legitimize, so to speak, to my family the time that I spent on this, right? So I calculated basically a $10 an hour pay for myself based on the average of hours that it takes me to put these stories together. Now, sometimes it takes me longer, sometimes it takes me a little bit less. So it probably comes out to, and it has in the past, to about $5 an hour. And I don't mind, but I need to have this base amount to say, okay, I can do this and I don't have to get a third day job, right? And that's why I need your help. You can donate on kofi.com/Draxter. There are several different um, tiers, and there is a super tier as well, and we'll talk about that too. But this is also supposed to be fun. Now I'm looking here at this image. Now look at this image here, and if you didn't tune in the first fundraiser, basically you missed this image. Where is my image? Here. Look at this. So look at me here, where I look kind of cool and hip. And look at me here. This is the same guy. No, I'm not talking about the cool guy on the left. I'm talking about the used Lexus salesman on the right. And I know Mystic, who is watching the stream, she goes like, "Okay, Dragster, we know the same joke every time. Used car salesman." I mean, come on, it's hilarious. But yeah, so that's that. But I prefer actually this version of myself, which was a commissioned piece. Nylon Pinkney, famous SL artist, drew this famous dragster, very famous dragster. Now, um, where was I? So my goal, and by the way, where am I? So if you want to come in world, this is I this is the hint. I'll say books and lot 49. Okay? Lot 49, that's where I am. Me and who else is here? Oh, the SL Book Club manager. He's keeping Oh! There's somebody hovering underneath. People are hovering. Me and my shadow. So people did find me, huh? Caddy found me, Shala found me, and Clyde is somehow underneath. And Dex Euromat, or as I call him, Dex Euromat. Now, I have a whole bunch of videos prepared today from the past, and we're going to watch these videos, and then I will beg for more money, and I will try to be very respectful, because one thing that I want to say right off the bat, people are hurting financially. That is, uh, you know, a given, a fact. And if you are hurting, and I have people IM me and they say, I can't, I wish I could donate. The whole point of this strategy that I'm pursuing here is to make it possible for me to continue telling stories from the grid without financial pressure, without the pressure that I will have to have if I have to get a third job. But I don't want you, if you can't afford it, if you're hurting financially, to feel obligated to chip in here. There's a lot of different models on the internet right now. Patreon campaigns, which are okay. The Patreon model is not a bad model at all. I'm not using the Patreon model because I don't want to create a system where there is special quote unquote content for people who have extra dough. I want to give people with means the opportunity to step up and say, if we meet the threshold of 100 supporters, then I will stop fundraising and I will start producing. So that means there will be no content behind the paywall. There will not be a paywall. This is very important, and I thought about this a lot. How will I do this? And that's the decision I made. So if you can afford it, please go to coffee.com/Draxter and check out the tiers, the different tiers. Now, let's see here. What do we have? I have 3 Drax files. Oh, wait a minute. Last time we also spoke a little bit about Fluffy. Okay, and people were like, I played a Fluffy episode, and that was a scripted comedy thing that we did when Mesh first was announced. Back in we started in 2011, I believe. And this Fluffy character was one of the first non-humanoid Mesh avatars on Marketplace. And we got it, and we started doing a scripted comedy show. And I want to play the very first episode. It's called Primland. Pookie Amsterdam, famous machinima maker and talk show host in SL, and I made that. We wrote it together, the story, and we developed the series. Now, if you want me to continue producing in addition to these documentaries or these human interest reportage type pieces, if you want me to do comedy, send me a message, okay? Maybe I'll be convinced to go back to scripted comedy because I think there is a huge opportunity in SL and there's very few people doing it. There's one guy who I want to kind of interview next time who does it. What's his name? LP. Oh, God, I can't think of his name. But anyway, let's watch the first Fluffy episode, Primland, because last time I played episode 11 and people were like, what the hell? Am I on drugs? What's going on? So Primland is self-explanatory. This is the beginning of the Fluffy saga, and you can find the whole playlist on my YouTube channel. It's very fun. It was incredibly fun to produce this stuff. Very labor intensive. Again, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot with this, and we did like 2 episodes per week or something. Here is Fluffy Primland.
Okay, yes, you may visit your favorite locations before Mesh wipes them out, but make it quick. Your cousins are waiting.
Promise, Dad. Bye, Mom.
Bye, little one. And be careful in Primland. Careful in Primland.
Botanicals. Just beautiful. What Chris can do with these clunky cubes. So much easier with mesh, though. Totally unique, that Scottius. And a true hero to us tinies. But the prim count? Ridiculous! Servers are overheating just to display the purple! Blade Runner City. Heaven for art lovers. Awesome. Frame rates? On your average machine? Oh my, 10 per second on a good day.
You're late, man.
Sorry, came through the Prim ghetto.
I hear you. The smokers over there remind me of Prim builders, addicted to old habits.
Hey, Fluffy, what a surprise. Pookie, Drax, looking swell, all decked out in mesh.
No, man, these are actually Prim clothes.
See, Fluffy, we can all coexist, just like text and voice chat.
No, we can't. Last week, some guy yelled at me.
Hey, rectangle, get out of the way.
Turns out he was using viewer 1.
Yeah, but you know, very soon, all third-party viewers will be mesh-enabled and then...
Wow.
Fluffy?
Did you see her? That's what I'm talking about. Mesh women.
Sorry to blow your dreams, but that's Angela. A good old-fashioned Prim Adana.
Really? Maybe you guys are right. And we can all get along. Either way, I gotta go. Miss? Hello, miss. Hi there. May I ask, are you by any chance using viewer 3? Do I look like a triangle to you right now? A block? An egg? Miss? A pillow? Hello?
Silence, do you hear me? Oh, silence, do you see me?
There you go. So that's Fluffy Primland. I mean, unbelievable fun that we had with this. And we did 2 episodes a week at some point. There's only 19 episodes. Check them out on the YouTube channel. Really, really super fun. I'm not, this is one of those things. SL has so many possibilities, and you go like, okay, what should I do? Should I continue with documentary? Should I do scripted, I don't know, thrillers or whatever people do? People have done really good sort of feature length narrative fiction and stuff like that. So I decided to stick to what I'm best at, the Drax Files made in SL, and I want to bring the Drax Files made in SL back. Hello, Mystique. Hello, Shyla. Look, we got a little audience here. Dex, the book club manager. And Clyde here. Hello, Clyde. Now, if you cannot afford to support me, support this endeavor of trying to create some or continue to create some kind of record of what people do the people behind the avatars in this amazing world. If you cannot afford it, please don't sweat it. Don't feel obligated. Check out the Ko-fi page. I'm putting it on the YouTube chat. There is a very, very small amount at the basic level. This is how the page looks like. You can find $1, $3, or $5 a month membership. You can also send a tip. Right now, I have 49 supporters. All I'm looking for is 100 supporters. And I don't know what my deadline should be. I posted here that I want to start in August 24th, launching the first video. So I'm working on 5 videos right now, parallel, that were leftovers from the Linden Lab contract that are not completed, right? But I already conducted all the interviews. So now I'm going through the interviews, I'm writing up the narrative, and I want to launch August 24th. If I don't find the 100 supporters, I will have to stop working on those, and I will have to get another day job. That's the reality of it. Now, if you have any questions what the specific modalities of my goals are, please send them in World or send them on the YouTube channel now. How many Dragster, how many stories per year are we going to get? Are we only going to get big narrative stories? Are we going to get feature-length documentaries? Are we going to get some fly-through type stuff, like some eye candy stuff? Are you going to interview people? Is the book club going to continue, etc., etc., etc.? So do send me these questions in World. Now, I mentioned there's these tiers that you can see on the basic page. If you look at the 3 basics here, the Drax Base, the Drax Pal, and the Drax Super Stand is $9 per month. Here you can see, please ping me in World if you want to subscribe via Linden Dollars. My goal is to find 100 supporters at the $3 month level by August 24th, 2024 to launch a Drax Files Made in SL. Actually, I have to change that because this is really just for me to gauge interest. Is there actual interest, right? So if I get 100 supporters and a lot of them are at the $1 a month base level, that shows me there is interest. Somebody with not a lot of money still wants me to continue. Somebody who can't afford more wants me to continue. So this is an experiment, because one thing that I'm telling you quite honestly, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been in public radio before. Mystic has been in radio. She knows what I'm talking about. You find a lot of, or other artists, every artist, right? You will find people who constantly tell you, oh, you're the greatest, man. I love what you're doing. Whatever. If you're a musician, a painter, poet, you find these people all the time. And then when you ask them for a little bit of support, they disappear. They disappear very, very quickly. So again, this is about finding a minimum amount that I can say to my family, you know what, this is worthwhile. This is not some crazy hobby like playing golf or what other 53-year-old people do. Oh, Clyde sent a message. I'll get back to you, Clyde. So my thing is, Clyde, I was making this elaborate joke about middle-aged men dyeing their hair blonde and getting a Porsche. I'm not at that, that's not my milieu in terms of like income levels, not even close. But so basically my point is I am a family man, and I can't, this is when you're committed to your family, there's compromise. You can't just willy-nilly do whatever you want. And I can't be spending time on my hobby, as important as that may be. I have to justify the workload when other members of this family are working hard and foregoing their leisure time to supporting this family. So this is what it's all about. But then on top of it, it's gauging that kind of interest, right? So you can see here, there's actually a lot fewer members. As you saw before, the start page has 49 supporters. So the 49 supporters include people who tip a one-time amount, and that's fine. That's fine with me. I'll develop this as I go along. I want this number here on the start page to be 100. Now, I added, because somebody told me, why are you not adding super levels? This is the Drax Mega Thorion level, and I took this screenshot before somebody actually pledged this, because there's one person who already pledged this Drax Mega Thorion, where you get, for $19.99, you get a 2-minute song for you and about you, and sent to you in machinima video format, performed by yours truly. I will actually write a song for you, a 90-second song, 90 seconds to 2 minutes, that is about you, and I will perform this. I will record it, I will mix it, and then I'll basically do a basic music video. So the music video is going to be very basic, right? But it's still going to be good. But the song is a real song from scratch, where I play all the instruments, maybe except for drums. I do have a drum set at home, but it's easier to do with samples. Maybe I'll sample my own drum set. The $49.99 boss level is I meet with you every once a month for a 30-minute hangout in world every single month, and we'll film that, and you can keep it unlisted for you as your gift, as my gift to you for your archives. That's in addition to the song. So these are the two super levels. And what you could do, I don't want to give you any ideas, but what people have done, not with me, but with other things, is you could sign up for this Mega Thorion, have me make your song and your machinima, and then cancel. I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. Maybe I should add that, get some incentive that people actually stick with me. I think I just shot myself in the foot, but I'm good with that. I'm good, very good, aiming really well into my foot. Have been for a long time. So that's that. Those are the two super levels. And now I'm curious why it doesn't show that Rhiannon is actually signed up at that level. And I already wrote her song, and I sent her the machinima, and I think she's on the road, so she hasn't responded. But I'm really proud of it, actually, the little song. So that's that. That's the Ko-fi page. Now enough about money. What old video should we watch now next? I have a bunch of videos lined up. And from the Made in SL series, the destination guide on Mystique's Halloween build. God, Mystique, I'm getting a Terror Town. Oh my God, that is awesome. You know what? I don't have it prepped. But when we run the next one, I think I can prep it in the background. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that should be possible. But so now, what do I have to offer for you guys? What do I have on offer? What have I lined up? Let me see. Oh, actually, you know what? I have a video from 2008 when I went to Paris and I won an award for making this video about virtual Guantanamo. And I met Peter Gabriel in Paris. And there was a German news team was following me around. And I met former U.S. President Jimmy Carter. Look, this is me in the background here. This is Jimmy Carter. These are some of the other nominees for the award. That was in December 2008. Insane. And yeah, Mystique met Jimmy Carter. God damn it, Mystique. You're always one-upping me. Did you at least meet Peter Gabriel? No, but let me finish that story because this is kind of cool. So they were all like, camera. I was right next to Jimmy Carter, and then all these people were pushing in the front, and then that left me in the back. But anyway, it's not about that. So I'm going to play this, and people watching this, have to put caption on because this is in German. This is from German television. It's a 5-minute documentary on my trip there where I talk a little bit about Second Life and all that. And this was for a project called Virtual Guantanamo, a fantastic project made by Noni de la Peña and Peggy Weil, where they rebuilt the Guantanamo prison camp from blueprints that they got. I forgot where they got it from. And they made it in Second Life, and there was a preliminary scripting that they experimented with where the avatar was basically forced into a plane and then dumped in Guantanamo. So I'm going to play that, but it is in German. So make sure you have the captioning on. And please, while you're watching that, go to ko-fi.com/Dragster. Here we go.
Der sich Themen wie Menschenrechte oder Demokratie kümmert. Bezahlt wird für seine Berichte nicht. Allerdings gab es nun einen viel bedeutenderen Lohn, den Media Award von der internationalen Organisation Every Human Has Rights.
Mein Name ist Draxter Duprey. Ich wurde am 20. Februar 2007 in die virtuelle Welt hineingeboren. Ich bin Reporter. Meine Themen sind soziale Gerechtigkeit, Klimawandel, Menschenrechte und Demokratie. Mit Screen Capture Software filme ich Menschen und ihre Geschichten überall auf der Welt.
Hier habe ich die Möglichkeit, eben global mit Leuten zu interagieren, die zu interviewen, Stories zu finden, zu thematisieren, ganz unabhängig von meiner Location und der Location des Interviewpartners.
Thanks for that report, Dragster.
Paris im Dezember 2008. Das 60-jährige Bestehen der Allgemeinen Erklärung der Menschenrechte wird gefeiert. Bernhard Drax alias Draxter Duprey ist dabei. Der reale Drax ist Musiker und lebt in Kalifornien. Sein Avatar Duprey arbeitet als Journalist in Second Life. Hier, bei der Media Award Preisverleihung, erscheint Duprey ausnahmsweise mal ganz real. Denn er erhält einen realen Award für seinen Bericht Virtual Guantanamo von der Organisation Every Human Has Rights.
Es macht einen sehr bescheiden und es macht einen aber auch Hoffnung, da es sehr einflussreiche und wichtige Leute auf der Seite der Journalisten sind und auf der Seite der Wahrheit. Und es geht in der Demokratie nicht ohne den Journalismus, ob das jetzt virtuell ist oder ob man sich die Hacken abläuft im Kriegsgebiet.
Bernhard Drax hat mit seinem Film Virtual Guantanamo Pionierarbeit geleistet. Er berichtet als Journalist in Second Life über Themen, die auch jenseits dieser Online-Welt wichtig sind.
Hunde bellen nackte Gefangene an, Menschen, die mit Fotos ihrer Kinder konfrontiert werden, mit dem Hinweis, diese nie wiederzusehen. Diese Aussage ist von Mosambik, einem britischen Gefangenen, der dort fast 3 Jahre bis 2005 eingesperrt war.
Man kann über Guantanamo einen Zeitungsartikel lesen, man kann über Guantanamo Filme sehen, man kann die Diskussion in den Nachrichten verfolgen. In Second Life kann man da hineingehen. Und nicht nur das, man kann in diesem Raum mit anderen Leuten aus der ganzen Welt darüber diskutieren, über diese Thematik, und zwar ohne Grenzen. Und das ist eine faszinierende Kraft, die sich da entfaltet.
Aber nicht nur in der Online-Welt ist Bernhard Drax zu Recherchezwecken unterwegs. Er holt sich Meinungen und Informationen auch auf klassischen Wegen.
Wir stoßen auf Grenzen, wenn wir Informationen in den traditionellen Medien einfach nur nachplappern. Wir wissen, dass sich die jungen Menschen in Europa und den USA von den traditionellen Nachrichtensendungen abwenden. Ein Teil dieses Problems ist, dass man mit diesen Medien eben auch nicht interagieren kann.
Drax und sein Avatar sprechen mit ihren Themen und den technischen Möglichkeiten in Second Life besonders die Jugend an. In Draxter Dupreys neuestem Bericht interviewt er Vertreter von Amnesty International zum Thema Obdachlosigkeit.
Bitte sage uns doch, was das bedeutet. Diese Aktion soll auf die Situation Obdachloser hinweisen. Großbritannien hat beschlossen, bis 2012 die Obdachlosigkeit abzuschaffen. Die EU will das bis 2016 schaffen.
Wie und ob die virtuelle Welt von Second Life tatsächlich den Beruf des Journalisten verändert, das ist Thema der Vorträge, die Bernhard Drax in diesem Jahr an 5 verschiedenen US-Universitäten halten wird.
Was ich mache, ist Bürgerjournalismus. Es gibt ja viele Leute, die propagieren einen kompletten Kollaps und dass es auch wichtig ist, dass nur noch der einzelne Blogger, dass es komplett filterlos funktioniert. Ich glaube, dass das nicht gut ist für unsere Demokratie. Wir brauchen einen redaktionellen Prozess. Blogger können nicht die Tagesschau ersetzen.
Auch die Familie Drax hat verschiedene Realitäten. Denn wenn sich Opa Drax aus München mit seinem Enkel Kaleo treffen will, dann oft am Computer.
Wir können auch auf einen hohen Berg hinaufgehen.
Vater Bernhard Drax ist jedenfalls froh über die Möglichkeit, die Welt virtuell zu bereisen und gleichzeitig zu Hause sein zu können. Sein Sohn Kaleo auch.
Glaube ich. Ja, und Guantanamo schließen ist eines der großen Wahlversprechen von Barack Obama, an denen er festhalten will. Wie schnell das geschehen wird und geschehen kann, ist für den künftigen Präsidenten zurzeit allerdings noch die große Frage. Sicherlich kann er die Welt nicht von heute auf morgen ändern. Aber dass Obama überhaupt gewählt wurde und die Chance zum Change, zum Wechsel erhalten hat, verdankt er unter anderem seinem spektakulären Wahlkampf über das Internet. Mitverantwortlich für seinen Online-Auftritt ist Lawrence Lessig, kein Unbekannter in der IT-Szene. Der Juraprofessor unterstützt unter anderem das Prinzip freier Software und gründete die Creative Commons-Initiative.
Die digitale Welt.
Okay, I got to interrupt here because actually the captions got increasingly worse. Oh my God, Guantanamo-shis. Okay, but oh yeah, Briaria is saying here in the YouTube chat, practice for often mucus. Exactly. I mean, so weird because I downloaded it and I'm replaying it, and I think it's on my channel, and the captions are pretty good on my channel. So, but replaying it now, it goes through another layer. Welcome Raver, welcome Briarius. And so, yeah, that was really an amazing adventure back in 2008. And I just found this here. This is a panel with Joe Rubin, who was working at PBS Frontline at the time. And I think for 2 days, Joe Rubin, for 2 days, my avatar in prison garb was on the PBS homepage. I'm not talking about the Frontline homepage. Here you can see pbs.org/Frontline World was the URL, but it was actually on the pbs.org Frontline where they had the top stories, because Joe filed another story about me going to Paris and filing this virtual Guantanamo thing. Yeah, was kind of amazing. That I think was maybe 2009, but there was so much interest in using a virtual world like Second Life. Well, Second Life specifically for human rights related stuff. Hello, Judy Lynn is here in World and Stranger. Welcome, T-Rips. Welcome. They found me. I guess I'm easy to find. But yeah. So those days, one could say those days are kind of gone a little bit, and that's kind of regrettable. But with me going forward with the Drax Files made in SL, the goal being to continue with human interest stories, but also specifically with stories that have a possibly a political angle, progressive angle, stories that put something like this, human rights violations, forward, or using the virtual world to further really good causes, right? Bring attention to causes. Games for good, or serious games, is a term that was used at the time in the 2010s. And so I work with a lot of these people. And this is an aspect that I also want to pursue, not exclusively so, right? That's why I'm careful in saying what I'm trying to do with when I'm coming back and when I get the 100 supporters. I'm very broadly defining it as human interest stories and a archive of activities that can be as broad, as somebody who makes virtual hair, or somebody who is just taking topics out of my hat, a deaf doula, right? I'm sure you didn't know that there is such a thing in Second Life. Well, I now do. And I have a wonderful conversation on file already, and I want to keep working on this. Now, Ko-fi should actually show up here in the local chat if somebody donates, but I think I have to relink it. So I want to say thanks to RacerX. Thank you, Racer, for supporting. Chu Hikari Akamine, thank you. Caddy, thank you. And Pablo. Pablo is a super stan. Thank you, guys. And when we watch the next one, I'm going to relink the Ko-fi to the YouTube chat so it shows up there. Now, as we survive these terrible German subtitles, it's, I think, time to watch something in English where there's no risk involved, but a lot of reward. And where am I? Where is my prepared stuff? Okay, so I have 4 stories. Wait a minute. Do I? 1. This is Rose, Rod, and Grandma. Do I only have 3? 1, 2. Oh no, I have 4. So I have one about a machinima maker from Hamburg, Germany. I have one about former CEO of Linden Lab, Rod Humble. I have one about immersive artist Rose Bukowski, the wife of Peter Greenaway. And what's the last one? I have one about Engramma, a alt-rock duo from Spain and Argentina. So which one is it? Which one should it be? I'm going to ask the in-world people, and I'm going to ask the YouTube people. Rod Humble. We're going to watch all 4, but what to start with? Rod Humble, former CEO of Linden Lab. He was in before Ebbe. I think there was a brief period where Philip came back. Rod Humble came from the game industry, from Electronic Arts. I think he came and went. He was a good guy, but I think he couldn't deal with. He's like an indie game developer. Caddy wants the music one. Engramma. Fantastic music duo. Okay. Caddy says something, nobody else says anything. God, these people are so passive, Caddy. What's going on? Let's watch Engramma. Now, Engramma is Drax Files episode 5. I think it was from 2013, early on in the Drax Files, which started 2013. And it's one of my favorite stories because it's great music, very talented, and a great showcase of what can be done in Second Life with music. So this is Drax Files episode 5, Engramma. And please do visit ko-fi.com/Draxter. I'm going to relink the YouTube channel so we can actually see who is joining. So where are we? Here we go.
Hey, you guys don't really seem all that socially awkward.
Why you say that?
Well, because you hang out in Second Life all the time.
Oh my god, are you kidding?
Of course I am.
We have a band in Second Life and it's called Engramma. We play kind of post-rock music. Aqua plays drums and she sings, and I play the guitar and I sing. We have no backing tracks, it's all live. Pupito is always with a cigar that has blue smoke.
Laco always has the drumsticks in her hands.
We prefer to play the original songs we have. In fact, when we improvise in Second Life, we sometimes even create new songs.
It totally depends on the mood of the crowd. We live out in this village in the mountain and we have everything we need to play in Second Life. The electronic drums, electric guitar, the microphones, everything plugs into the mixer and we stream live in Second Life. Every song has to be unique. That's why we started to build our own stages, our own instruments.
Also, people are expecting that. Our fans, our audience.
We are making music that fits with the images.
And that's Engramma.
us, this is the same, like going to Barcelona to play a gig. Probably we get a bigger audience in Second Life.
In Barcelona, you won't find people from Japan, from Australia. In Second Life, we have fans from many countries, from all over the world.
There is one magic thing in Second Life when people send us messages like, "Hey guys, I heard Engrama music at the Colorado Canyon on a trip."
People record our Second Life shows and then they listen on their iPods.
They share with us how our music makes them feel.
We live with Second Life. We eat with Second Life.
I think Second Life is a window into the world. We earn money in Second Life by selling the things we make at our own store, which is called Yoni.
We sell houses, furniture, we sell music instruments and stages, some clothes.
We also charge a fee when we play live with Engrama.
Sometimes we find a place that we really like and we ask if they want an Engrama concert, and of course we don't ask money for that.
When we're playing in Second Life, I look the screen, I get really excited because those avatars are real people, and sometimes I read the chat when I play drums. I want to see what the audience says, and when I read nice words, it feels great.
It's real. I'm looking at it, no matter if it's a computer or if it's my window. Who says what is real and what is not real?
You guys rock. Thanks for doing the show. I was wondering, have you ever tried to interest your friends in Second Life, your musician friends?
Yes, I try all the time because I have many friends that they are very talented musicians. So I create avatars for them because I think they could really benefit from Second Life. But I don't know what is it. Maybe they think it's just a game, or they don't have patience, or I don't know.
Well, it could be that they simply don't have the time. Maybe they're updating Facebook or Twitter all day long. Busy, networking.
But what is Facebook? It's boring, you know? What is Twitter? It's boring.
This is real interaction. Second Life is a parallel life. They can go together and sometimes they cross.
There we go, Engrama. And it's really cool to see these older pieces. You know, I'm not kidding, and I'm not fishing for compliments when I say I can't watch my own stuff. Also, I can't listen to my own music. I really need at least a year of distance. And I know a lot of people who are way more talented and way more prolific than I am, who have that same predicament. Because when you're so close to something that you create, for me, it's always painful to look at it because I can feel the pain that it took me to make these decisions that then arrives at something that I give out to the world. And then sometimes, you know, you go like, oh, why did I do this? And so you see little things that nobody else sees, and that can be very painful. But when I look at stuff that's like this, more than 10 years old, I'm really proud of it because not because I'm such a genius, but simply because I did it, and we have a record, we have an example of those incredible talents that are so abundant here in Second Life. And you know, the music they make is amazing. And one of the things that always bugged me is that in the beginning when I started with the Drax Files was like, you know, you run into people and go like, yeah, Second Life is, you know, is like an amateur playground. There's people who can't make it, and then they're here and, you know, they're doing like, yeah, music is like a guy who can't tune his guitar, or he has only 5 strings and he knows 2 chords and crap like that. And that kind of dismissal always bugged me. So this was one of the goals that I had to showcase and highlight people with real talent to counter the narrative that was out there, and is still out there to some extent, is that here are people are hiding who have no talent. So that is one of the motivations I have for stories. And then the other big one is, of course, the diversity, to really kind of uh, give put this into the light, the whole diversity. So that is, of course, challenging because I'm like, okay, I did music, I got to do something else, but that's not a good way to think actually, because music is not like music. There's different types of music, but there's also incredibly a wide array of activities. And like I say, to me, the fact that Second Life has this way, just the existence of Second Life is somehow triggering an intrinsic motivation in people to make things, to create things rather than to consume. And don't get me wrong. There's people here, and I'm not judging, I'm just saying there's people here who are perfectly happy just to consume. They have never rezzed one prim. And I'm not talking about, you got to be like an expert, you got to be the best out there in order to talk to me, because I also want to talk today about hit me with your stories, submit your stories. The next fundraiser will also be very concretely about how to submit stories and very much about sort of the release schedule. I have to still think about that, and then I can be concrete about when to release what. But I also will put out a casting call, if you will, or a call to submit your stories. Welcome, Kitten. Kitten is in the local chat in on YouTube. Hello, Kitten. Oh, she may have left. But anyway, this image behind me, by the way, is from Bloomberg News. Second Life turns 20. Of course, the little video that they have starts with the book club. I mean, there's another thing that I'm, hesitant to continue because of the workload. But if I get the funding, if I get these 100 supporters, I will also continue the book club past 2024. So this, of course, it's kind of cool to see this on Bloomberg when Second Life turned 20. Right? Why has this metaverse succeeded when so many others failed? It warmed my heart to read this headline here, and also to see us here with Jonathan Lethem, one of the greatest contemporary American authors of literary fiction. Here's Jenny Odell. Oh my God, I forgot her name now. She wrote a great book. Claire Evans wrote a book about women in tech, and then of course Joanne McNeil over here. Yeah, so please help me to continue telling stories from Second Life. Go to kofi.com/Draxter right now and see what works for you. The membership starts at $1 per month, and it goes up. And there's, of course, the super tier, as we talked about earlier. If there's new people, let me just put in the Mega Thorian tier. This is, of course, alluding to an album by Celtic Frost, one of my favorite metal bands. The Mega Thorian is $19.99 per month, and you get a 2-minute song for you and about you sent to you in machinima video format. The machinima video, the music video, is going to be kind of preliminary, basic, not like talking about Peter Gabriel, Sledgehammer, or something like that. But it's going to be pretty good still. But the song is all made from scratch, written and recorded and mixed by yours truly. And then for the $49.99 per month, this is the boss level, OMG level, where you get the song and the video, and you meet with me once a month for 30 minutes, hang out in the world every single month, and you get to keep a video recording of this. And you can use it for your archives, for your kids who are going to have Second Life implanted in their heads, and you know, we used to use a screen. Actually, that's pretty scary. Not my thing. I'm kind of a Luddite too. So the basic levels again here, and if you want to donate in Linden dollars, please ping me in the world and we'll find a modality, but these are the basic levels: Drax Space, Drax Pelt, Drax Superstan. Right now, we have how many supporters? We have 53 supporters right now. And my goal today is to bring this up to 75 supporters. Can we do it? Yes, we can. And let's play the next video And now I'm not going to ask which video should we play. Should I ask which of the old Drax Files world makers should we play? Should we play the one with Rod Humble, former CEO? Or should we play Ole Etzel, machinima maker from Hamburg? He's so good. Rose Bukowski is amazing. Peter Greenaway's wife. Made a lot of immersive art here in SL. Tirips is typing in world. Tirips is typing. I'm going to wait until Tirips. Tirips will be deciding which one to watch next. Tirips, quickly. Tirips, you can do it. Rod Humble. Hamburg-based machinima maker Ole. Or Rose. Immersive art. Tirips doesn't know. And Humble, says Judy Lynn, who is unavailable. Judy Lynn is unavailable, but then again, she's available to say the word humble. Well, I humbly say Rod Humble it is, because I think it's very interesting. This the only one where I did a video about an executive, with everybody was a resident up until then, and then I was like, okay, let's take this executive. And at the very end, and I'm not going to give it away, is a funny thing that he says. Okay, I'll say it. He says something about death threats. It's very funny. Death threats are not funny, but the way he says it is very funny. And I can say this now. I sent this over to Pete Linden, who was the communications director at Linden Lab. And he said, please take the end out where he talks about death threats. And Pete was a great guy. He still is a great guy. But he was, of course, for my money, a little timid in that regard. And I said, Pete, I'm not taking this out because it's so funny how he says it. And it hits the nail on the head. And I have an agreement with you on paper with Final Cut. I'm sending to you the rough cut as a courtesy. But ultimately, I have to make the final decision. So I put my foot down and I put it out, and people found it very, very funny. So here is Rod Humble, former CEO of Linden Lab. Linden Lab, not plural. God, where's my video? Here it is.
Most people in Silicon Valley have no idea that Second Life still exists.
My name is Rod Humble, and in Second Life, I am known as Rodvik Linden.
So, you are the CEO.
Indeed, I am.
Now, you guys run this enormous universe where people from all over the world make and sell the most amazing digital creations, and your colleagues ignore you. How does that make you feel?
I feel pretty good, to be honest. We have over $500 million US in user-to-user transactions. The tech press don't pay much attention to us, but folks with a creative bent are having a wonderful time in world.
After 10 years, we have 1 million people active every month, 400,000 odd people sign up every month. At least from my background, I come from the world of computer games. That never happens. Creative platforms should be tremendously long-lived. Nobody is really talking about changing canvases for painting. People are naturally drawn to being able to play rather than follow somebody else's fixed path. Adding your sense of identity, this self-expression, which is my avatar, and I know that I'm in a space that I can move around. I know that it's been made by somebody. It is more engaging. I'm not sure why it's magic, but it is. I am very uncomfortable with lack of privacy. The you that goes to church is different than the you that goes to work or is at home or is in a club. Increasingly today, those lines are getting eroded, and I think they're important. The ability for you to have a certain kind of identity in certain situations within Second Life, it's extremely empowering. I love flying around with my alts. Sometimes I'm dressed as a Greek philosopher. Sometimes I'm a spaceship. Sometimes I'm dressed as an animal. I mean, it's great. And each one of those personas, you can fully engage in a community in a way that you can't when everybody knows it's Rod Humble. At Linden Lab, we have 176 employees. San Francisco is the main office. The majority of our employees now are programmers who actually make things. For the past year or so, we have been working under the hood to improve performance, and it has been a huge effort. And that's an investment that isn't immediately apparent to people. A lot of those improvements are rolling out this quarter and next quarter, and I think people will be delighted by them. We have the Oculus Rift working within Second Life, and we are working to make it a AAA experience, particularly around the user interface. There is a dramatic transformation between older creations and ones that now you can make with current generation tools. Everything that you see within Second Life is created by the users, for the users. What emerges are these lines of business, and they rise and fall and rise, and it's wonderful. Linden Lab, we do not make the things that you see in Second Life. It's all community driven. There will be a point where you see something and you will say, I would like to be that. Second Life is ahead of its generation, but very traditional in the fact that it enables creativity. And I believe that is the most powerful form of entertainment. I am astonished that no large company has come in and said, we are going to spend $50 million building a Second Life competitor. It's how do you compete with something you don't understand?
Thank you so much, Rod, for this interview, and happy birthday, Second Life. Now, in closing, I need to know this. What is your relationship with the Second Life community? There is so much speculation.
I love the Second Life community. They've been wonderful to me.
The Second Life community gives itself a bad rap. They will tell you, oh, we're so negative and we're so drama obsessed. And it's just not true. I come from gaming communities where I receive 3 death threats in a day. I've never received 3 death threats in a day from Second Life users. I've only received 1 death threat here. For me, it's a step up.
There he was. Now, I forgot. I should have prepared this. I forgot how long he was actually at the lab. So that was Rod Humble, and we saw a little bit inside the lab. This sequence in the end where he flies outside of my window there. Oh God, I'm very proud of how this one turned out, and yeah, not much more to say about this other than also if you look at it and if you the still consistent trope of like Second Life looks like a bad video game from the 90s or whatnot. I don't know. I haven't heard that lately. But I also try to keep myself out of these discussions and away from social media. But you look at this and you look at the diversity in visual aesthetics that is displayed just in these few minutes, and the visual fidelity of the time of 10 years ago. I mean, come on. It's just amazing. Not even speaking about the empowering nature of world building and so on and so forth. And, I got to say this. I saw Ernie Klein, author, writer of Ready Player One, which I enjoyed. It's a fun book. It's not in my top 5 virtual reality related books, to be honest, but it's well written. It's very entertaining. Ernie Klein was at South by Southwest, and they're creating the metaverse. And I saw a presentation, and I think 10 years ago, I would have been angry at them presenting, doing an entire hour of presenting the concept of a virtual world where people can express themselves through avatars and world building without mentioning Second Life once. I would have been mad. although I of course understand the way capitalism works, if you want to sell a new car, then you need to make either you say the car that you guys own is bad, or you pretend there is no such thing as a car, or like Uber. Oh, we're doing a service where people can can call a ride and then they're being driven somewhere. Oh, you mean like a cab? No, no, no. What? A cab? So anyway, Ernie Klein from Ready Player One was presenting with his team the concept of a metaverse. I already blanking on the title now, but they were talking as if they're creating Second Life. And again, I would have been angry. Now I thought it was hilarious and sad that they're sitting there at South by Southwest pretending that Second Life does not exist, right? And I know that they had media people prep them, coach them before this presentation, no doubt about it, to tell them, don't mention Second Life, don't mention it. If it comes up in the Q&A, pretend you didn't hear the question. It didn't. There was no. Maybe there was a Q&A, but it was not on the YouTube recording. So I find it ridiculous. I find it ridiculous. Actually, more of a sign of not having a self confidence that your world that you're presenting or that you're building is offering something new. Because if you were confident about that, right, you would mention Second Life. You would take it head on. You would say, well, all kudos to Second Life, but what we're trying to do, and then you add on it, and then you say, like, what is your thing that is going to be better? That's how a mature person with confidence would present that product. But, it was really ridiculous. It was almost like a little bit of, it was comedy, almost like that they did not mention it at all. Anyway, I'm zooming up here. This is not Rod Humble. This is the great Ebbe Altberg. Rest in peace, Ebbe. You were one of the greatest. As an anti-capitalist communist / sometimes anarchist, I still haven't decided. I love this guy. If capitalism were to run by this guy, I would actually go back to maybe not being an anti-capitalist. But so yeah. This is Ebbe. I just put this up because it was in my folder. And Ebbe came in after Rod, and Ebbe was a great leader. He had great ideas, and he was a great communicator. He cared deeply about Second Life. He cared deeply about the people and all the rest of it. Kitten, I hope you're feeling better. Kitten is here. Kitten is not feeling good today. Please send your love and support to Kitten on the YouTube chat. Kitten, we hope you feel a little better when we look at some more stuff. And again, this is also a fundraiser, and I'm trying to get to 75 supporters today. This is a big goal because 100 supporters is the end goal. And then I know that I can continue telling stories from Second Life. I want to play a quick one because I mentioned earlier, and the intro is actually the intro was a montage of these destination guide videos, right? Strawberry, who was in a sense my supervisor at Linden Lab, and then Brett, both of them kind of like a dual personality. They would classify the non-narrative pieces as destination guide videos, which were sort of like trying to entice people to go to different locations. Oh, I need to get Mystique's Terror Town. I'll get it in there. But I'm going to play one of a dance club. And these were produced very quickly, really in record time. I don't want to brag about it, but I did it quickly. Not everything has to be done quickly, but some things I think they benefit from not overthinking stuff. So I'm playing with the idea of also continuing to intersperse between the longer narrative pieces, which take me 4 to 6 weeks to produce, to put in a quick one like the one that we're going to watch in a second. But I need to get to these 75 supporters now. It's absolutely crucial. There's no way I continue the workload. So here is just a little video, and I could think of a modus operandi of producing the big pieces every 6 weeks, a big narrative piece, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and then a quick 1 minute, 90-second one in between, like this one here. This was literally done I shot it in an hour. I edited it in maybe 3 hours. Here we go. You know what? Sorry, I have to restart this because this was actually in 4K. I forgot about that. So the screen is too the resolution for this particular canvas was too big, so it was roaming outside of it. But anyway, these are the pieces. But let me, since I stopped it, and I'm going to restart in a sec. The thing with these pieces, and I think that's interesting. You might find this interesting because there's a big difference between these pieces and the narrative pieces. The narrative pieces start with a long conversation, an interview, sometimes 2 interviews, separate interviews. They can be, initial interview can be an hour, can be 2 hours. So the total sometimes 5 hours to get to know a person or a project, and then putting the story together, and then filming, and then maybe reenacting certain things. So it's a big process. These destination guide type videos are quick in the sense that I go in to a new destination that I have not been, and I try to get the vibe of that location sometimes with no knowledge of what the location is about. Now with this one, this is a club, so okay, good, people are dancing there, but there was nobody there because the first time I went in there was nothing scheduled. So I let the vibe tell me how can I present this. And we did it at a frantic pace. I mean, at that time, I made 3 videos per week for Linden Lab. It was absolutely mad. But the cool thing is to go into a location and then let the vibe dictate what kind of aesthetic presentation this will be. And as you can tell, and we'll watch it again, yeah, there is a little micro story in there. I'm trying to infuse it with a micro story, if you will, that is sort of sent to me subconsciously through the vibe of the place, not necessarily the person who runs the place, because with these pieces specifically, I don't contact the person because the turnaround is so fast. The turnaround of these videos is so fast that I don't have the time to contact the person and say, hey, can you be there? Or when do you have time? I go in there, I immediately determine, oh, this is what this space is trying to tell me. And then I take an alt, or I dress up myself. I put myself into the space. Maybe I'll ping a friend from the group, and then we'll go from there. So here we go again. We're going to start this over. Here we go. So there you have it. So this is one of those quick ones. And if I get to 100 supporters, not today, because today the goal is 75 supporters, but 100 supporters is the total via coffee.com/Draxter. And if I get to it, I can promise you now, and I'll be more concrete with the last and final fundraiser, maybe in about 4 weeks or so, I will do the big stories, the reportage, and then in between I'll intersperse these quick eye candy and maybe ear candy, depending on, on your preferences, of these Second Life destinations, what used to be classified as destination guide videos under my Linden Lab contract. So think about that and go to kofi.com/Draxter and see if you can afford $1 a month or a one-time donation. That would be really, really awesome. I'm going to play another one. This one also same deal. Strawberry from Linden Lab had a spreadsheet with locations that she liked. I added my own locations. I looked at these locations and I picked one. I went in there and again let the vibe wash over me. Grabbed a friend or an alt or several and put life into the context of the space. So here we go. Here's another one. Now this was a really short one, and towards the end of my contract, we decided to only do one. That there would all be 1 minute in length. In the beginning, I did anything from 2 minutes to sometimes even longer, but then I did special 15-second and 30-second cuts. But the interesting thing with this one, now that I'm looking at it, the one critique that I consistently got from some people, and it was also expressed on social media in comments, was that these videos made people sad, and they didn't like them because they made them sad. Now, this was not uniformly so. There was a small contingent of people who felt that way. I'm not going to judge these people, but I found it interesting that this came up. And again, this is something where my preference, my reading of Second Life, broadly speaking, is in essence an ambiguous read, right? It is an open-ended world. It is really Alice in Wonderland, which is not all just fun and games. It is also threatening in a sense. It's also kind of scary. So here with this quick 30-second video, you can see that, you can interpret this character. Maybe this character is lonely. Maybe this character is scared somehow, and then she goes into this tower. What's gonna be in that tower? And then I combine this with my own music, and very often I make fresh music. Sometimes I use archive music. I have a huge archive, but I want to keep the ambiguity alive. That's just I feel very strongly about it because everything else is frankly an ad. Now, of course, my role at Linden Lab was that of an influencer. My job was to influence people so that they would go and explore this wonderful world. And there was never really a controversy within Linden Lab about this, which I credit them for. They loved that kind of thing because also they complemented it with other stuff, with other more sort of straightforward advertisement campaigns over the years. But for me, it was, and still is, extremely important to convey that this world may be dangerous, but you need to go there in order to confront the self, to confront yourself. I got to zoom back here because I don't know if people are chatting in the room. Oh, Dex is gone. I think Dex is, had to go away. He's still watching on YouTube because, of course, people who I coerced into reading David Foster Wallace's Infinite Jest will now say, "Oh, that's where Dragster's coming from. This is what Infinite Jest is about. Confronting yourself with the self and all that kind of stuff. I just want to be entertained. God damn it, I don't like it, Dragster. I'm not going to support you." But yeah, that's the deal. So that's what I want to continue, and I think it's important to continue that because this is not just. This is not just Second Life is not a candy bar that scratches that itch when you have a sugar when you want a little sugar. It's everything, and that's what needs to be conveyed. So that ambiguity needs to be conveyed. Actually, I have another special video. I completely forgot about that because I lined it up. You guys know what the hub is? Ever been to the hub? Hello, hands up. The hub in Second Life, the new kind of welcome area type thing. The hub. You guys like the hub? I know Judy. We talked a little bit about who did I talk with? Oh no, Judy was at Motown, right? You did something at Motown. I couldn't make it because it was the middle of my night. But so the hub, I'm not gonna credit. Oh, Judy, put the link into the. If you have a slur, put it in the local chat. Put it in the YouTube chat. So the hub is basically the relatively new welcome area concept that Linden Lab implemented. And it was cooked up by Brett Linden, who is one of my favorite Lindens, and also kind of my supervisor in the video department. And Brett had this idea of the hub, and he asked me if I could do a pitch video that he could show in-house. And we talked about what the hub was going to be, and he recorded a voiceover, and I did the pitch video. And Brett said to me, and it's not me taking credit, but Brett said to me that my pitch video was instrumental in him being able to convince the other Lindens in-house to implement the hub. I think the hub concept as it's implemented right now is fantastic. Everything can improve, but that they did that is awesome. And I'm proud that I was able to do a little part of it. And I'm going to play the initial pitch video that has never been seen. It has never been seen outside of Linden Labs. Oops, sorry, singular. Linden Lab. You want to see it? Who wants to see the hub video? God, people are not responding. But I'm going to play it anyway. Here we go. The super secret hub pitch video.
Welcome to The Hub, an entirely new entertainment metaverse experience powered by virtual world pioneer Second Life. The Hub brings together top-tier brands, entertainment partners, and one of the internet's largest and most loyal virtual world communities into an all-new premium metaverse experience. Choose your path to explore several distinct entertainment districts, shop the latest fashions, and explore luxury goods at the Fashion District. Explore your virtual identity and construct your look at Avatar Alley. Discover new music and dance with your friends at one of the many nightclubs and live performance venues at Music Central. Catch a flick or attend an exclusive film premiere event at one of the many virtual cinemas in the Movieplex. Feeling creative? Head to the Creator Zone, a virtual playground where you can build almost anything you can imagine. Dive into the world of NFTs and immersive art by visiting one of the many art galleries and museums in Art Avenue, or try your luck at one of the many social and skill games at Gaming World. At the Hub, there's always something new to explore and discover.
My voice, sorry. The super secret hub pitch video. Yep, that was dreamed up by Brett, implemented by yours truly in the fastest possible way with very little resources. Quite proud of it because especially it was, as I've been told, instrumental in convincing people to implement it in SL. So that's very cool. If you want to see more of these secret videos, these secret projects, that I'm not even sure if I'm legally allowed to show them, but I show them anyway. If we get to 75 members. Oh, Raver is Snow's Frosty Paws in world. Ooh, Raver. Raver, I think I added you as a friend. If not, then I'll do it right after. There's too much going on. I'm getting too old for this. But Raver, thank you. I know you indicated you want to donate in Linden dollars. We'll figure it out. And yeah, that was the hub. Now I'm looking at the time. We gotta put pedal to the metal because I can't go past 11 a.m. SLT. Ooh, let's see what else I have lined up. We have this, and we have, of course. Oh, okay. So I want to play Ole Etzel. Ole Etzel is a guy from Hamburg, Germany, who has a machinima series called Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones is absolutely awesome. He did a lot of other stuff too, but Mr. Bones is his claim to fame. And so I'm looking at my other things. But Ole Etzel, let's watch this Drax Files World Makers. And again, if you are tuning in, if you have no idea what's going on here, the Drax Files World Makers series was, let's put this up here. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fund a relaunch or rebranding or whatever of the Drax Files in slightly altered sort of merging form with the Made in SL series. And initially I felt like, okay, let's make it Drax Files Next Generation. And it was like, no. Next Generation for me is cool because I associate it with Star Trek Next Generation. But I think people will associate it with Next Generation Virtual Worlds, which is not great because they were all pretty much, let's face it, kind of failures in the marketplace of ideas. So I decided to call the relaunch, rebrand, whatever, of narrative historical human interest pieces that Drax Files made in SL. That's going to be the name of the series. So now we're going to watch Drax Files World Makers from 2015 about Ole Etzel. Story speaks for itself.
Before the digital age, I was running around with a big VHS camera on my shoulder. For simple interviews in the city, I already needed a second person for sound, and then the cutting afterwards. It was terrible. I have a lot of footage, but I never finished the movie.
And that's when you got sucked into a virtual world, lost all your friends, and now you're sitting there alone staring into a computer screen all day, right?
Not at all. In fact, I got married and became an independent machinima filmmaker. That's what happened. My name in Second Life is Ole Etzel. I am the creator of the Mrs. and Mr. Bones Machinima series. Way down upon the Swanee River. Machinima is when you use the software to record a movie. You take a game engine and then record the screen, then this is Machinima. Mrs. Bones and Mr. Bones are a married couple of skeletons that lost each other when Mr. Bones decided to sail to the sea. I am a workaholic in Second Life. I make the voiceover, I make the music for a lot of my videos. I'm playing banjo and guitar and singing, and all these skills I finally put together. The canvas is the screen, and that's what I paint on in a digital way. I have a little sim in Second Life, it's called Elbe. It's just my open world. You can come over there and visit me every time, take a look behind the scenes. You could ask me everything. I love to answer questions about machinima making. Sitting in my room and cutting off my right ear. It's very close between the artist and the consumer. It's not consuming against creating, it's consuming the creation. You can go so deep into the thoughts of others. My machinimas are often wild stuff. At the same moment, I make movies with a clear political message that matter to the so-called real world, because that's where we come from, because we are real. There are these two attempts of how to deal with the internet. The more Western, the more American attempt of putting your name and a lot of photos on Facebook. And there's the more Eastern, the more Japanese attempt of the avatar. Ole Etzel, Mr. Bones. That's not my real name, so I'm very free and I'm very private with this. And in the small time I have for myself, I like to do my movies. Everyone should play an instrument or paint something or write a story down and not be afraid of others to judge him. You just have to ignore that. If you only have corporate stuff left, then it's game over. I am outside in my community every day. I live in Hamburg, in northern Germany, close to the Northern Sea. I was sailing already before I could walk with my father on our sailing ship. I have a son, he's 3 years old. I spend a lot of time with him on playgrounds, on soccer places. I'm climbing with my son in trees. That is the best time of my life. And there's a second child coming. My wife is not Mrs. Bones, but she's crowdfunding me with her inspiration and her support and love. That is my life, my family.
Thank you so much, Ole, for an insight into a machinimist's mind. Now, when you show your movies to friends, what's their feedback? Do you think they get it?
I get different feedback from my friends. I have a friend who's drawing cartoons by himself and he has a lot of understanding for what I do. But my gamer friends always ask, isn't the learning curve of Second Life too high? And then I'm just asking back, what has that to do with my movies? The learning curve in Second Life isn't too high. I mean, how stupid someone must be to not being able to use Second Life. Try Blender, that's a hard learning curve.
Amazing. Amazing looking back here. I look so young. Actually, I look older than I look now. Digital world's reverse age. Also, I saw a glitch that bugs me. I don't know. Did anybody see the glitch in the last 10 seconds? Anyway, yeah, I look different. I look older, and I'm very proud also of the kind of visual gimmicks here that I started back with that series. Talking on Skype. Now we wouldn't talk on Skype these days, would we? We'd talk on Zoom. One thing that always came up when I started this series, and we saw Engrama, which was episode 5. They're based in Spain. Before that was episode 3, which we saw, I don't know if we watched it, but with Eshi Odawara, who was in Croatia. And people would ask me like, oh my God, how do you do this? Like you're flying all over the world. And there was then when people were talking about like Linden Labs supporting this, like, oh yeah, they're paying Drax the big bucks. He's flying from Croatia to Hamburg to whatever, to Linden Lab San Francisco, interview Rod Humble for a 5-minute piece and stuff like that. No, not at all. Absolutely not. I went to a few of these places when I was close, but for the most part, and this is the awesome thing about this is a very collaborative effort. I do an interview, then I lay out the visual concept, I lay out the narrative structure, and then I write a list of shots that people do on their own, and they send it to me. That's the world we live in today. That's possible today, everybody having a camera. Matter of fact, one of my things that drives me so crazy is when people in media fly all over the world for like a 3-minute piece for the evening news, while they don't have to do that, they can use a stringer or whatever. But anyway, that's a whole different subject. Now, I'm going to be realistic. We have about 25 minutes left in this special event today, and we have only 53 supporters. Can we get to 60 supporters? 60 supporters, folks. We can do this. And then I do one more stream, and I'm confident we can get to 100. I'm going to up the ante, and I'm going to add some more cool stuff for the next one. But can we get to 60 supporters in the last 25 minutes? There's 18 people watching here. We can do this, folks. This is the very basis that I need to continue telling these stories. You can see here, you can do a one-time donation, you can do a tip, or you can do a membership. You click on this membership link over here. And this is really just to gauge interest and get a very, very basic amount to cover the expenses so I don't have to get another job. I already have one. I mean, I'm talking about a second day job to, answer to the unit that is my family, to be fair to them who are working their butts off, and I can't be, this is just how I sort of morally look at the world. I can't be sitting here making stories that nobody's interested and nobody's signaling interest. So as much as this is covering some basic expenses, it's also it's for me, like I said in the beginning, it's signaling the interest. So please go to Ko-fi.com right now. I'm putting the link back in. It's in there. And let me check the Ko-fi page because I'm not sure if it's synced. Yeah, it is synchronized. We're still at 53. Let's go to 60 supporters. I'm going to play the next Drax Files from the past, which is Rose Bukowski. She's Peter Greenaway's wife. Peter Greenaway is a famous director. Rose is equally talented. It's not that, it's actually weird that I say she's Peter Greenaway's wife. She's a fantastic artist. I'm just mentioning I'm just name dropping Peter Greenaway because Peter Greenaway is very well known, and I think it's awesome that somebody like Peter Greenaway, who is a well-known real-life artist, is absolutely passionate about the possibilities of Second Life. Again, this goes back to the theme that I mentioned earlier, where a lot of sort of real-life artists kind of scoff at SL, and I've heard it millions of times. Oh yeah, it's nice that the amateurs have a little playground, but it's not to be taken seriously. Whatever it is, right? I mean, there's people in Hollywood in special effects or music or whatever, and it just exists. I mean, this is something that people think. This is kind of a stereotype about SL artists. Anyway, so let's play Rose Bukowski and self-explanatory piece. Amazing immersive art. Really, really, the first time I saw her work, I realized this is what makes SL unique. There's no other place where this is possible. And let's get to 60 supporters in these last 20 minutes. Let's do it, folks. Please help me out. And somebody donated somebody donated in World at a very secret tip jar. I make it very hard to donate, don't I? No, it's actually very easy. Ko-fi.com/Draxter. The link is in the chat. Please donate to get the basic expenses covered, but also to gauge interest. Are you even interested? Is there enough interest, or should I go back trying to revive my Frank Zappa cover band? That's really the question for me. And, that can be seen in the supporters. If I don't get the 100 supporters, to me, that clearly shows Draxter, go play drums. Forget about this. Forget about building Second Life archive of stories. Forget about it. Now, let's watch Rose Bukowski from the Drax Files, episode 14.
My name in Second Life is Rose Borkowski. I make immersive art.
My name is Susa.
Susa is a little character I made years ago in Second Life.
This is the story of Susa Bubble, who went to bed single and woke up double. Woke up as two in her single bed. Who are you? Who are you? She said.
Every day she doubles up until she is 33. And then they think that maybe Susa 33 is not really a Susa. And they start to be mean to her. Susa 33 feels so threatened by this all that she kills number 32 to become 32 herself, so that the balance is back. And that's the beginning of the end.
I am your enemy. I am your friend.
My daughter fell sick. We were really worried about losing her. I needed to do something. I started to make a story for her, and that was the Sousa Bubble story.
Life is a mystery. A mirror in a mirror. A game within a game.
The Sousa Bubble is about good and bad. Despite the fact that they want to do good, they do bad things. They are jealous and they cheat.
Why is there not nothing? Why is there not nothing?
In the beginning, I made 2D images. I made photographs of the Sousas in Second Life, and then in Photoshop, I would completely rework them. The next step was that I wanted the visitor to experience, to become part of that story. That's the inevitability of fate. I tried to make a path for the visitor to feel what happened to these two characters.
You are not allowed to read.
The only thing how you can experience this is being in this universe.
You are not allowed at this market.
Entering it with an avatar.
You have to wear a yellow ribbon.
You identify with it, like I identify with Rose. I still would like to convince you that you're gonna film Rose, my avatar, and not me. Because Rose is handsome and she's slim. I have a charming accent. So Rose is much more sympathetic as an image. The visitor also have that background. They do all create their own image. And you experience when you go inside that world with the avatar, you love that character you've made. Therefore, I think the experience is intense. At the moment, I'm working on several real-life projects. The Sex and the Sea installation in Rotterdam.
Je bent op een paard gehesen.
Heel gezellig, allemaal tafels, een bar, allemaal leuke meiden, er werd veel gedanst.
In a few weeks, we open an exhibition in Basel, in Switzerland. They are strongly involved with the new media, with projection, video, sounds. At the same time, I'm now making the concept for an exhibition in Moscow. I built all the models for the real-life installations inside Second Life. The possibility to play in it and to relate myself as an avatar towards the art. For me, it's like a studio. I do precisely the same in my performance as what I do in Second Life. And because I take it very seriously, others will take it very seriously. I've had now 15,000 visitors. It is a wider audience than an audience you will get in a museum. And if you are inside the art world, then you should know what's going on. I always turn it around and make them feel stupid about it. This is a different world. This is the future of art, especially people who love what I'm making. I make them feel they miss something if they do not visit this part of my art as well. I say, my God, where have you been?
Absolutely amazing, her work. Absolutely amazing, is it not? And again, this is what I'm trying to do as I'm watching these. I didn't watch them in preparation. I looked at my archive and I go like, okay, let's get a nice variety. But this, to me, now I'm watching this with you guys the first time in probably 10 years, and this is what I am trying to do. I'm trying to build an archive. I need to, I think, stress this because it feels weird asking for money. It was weird back in the public radio days. And I learned at the first pledge drive, like I always say, with this hardcore old school guy, Jim Davis, who made people feel bad. That was his strategy. Basically, talking to 50,000. We had 50,000 people listening in the morning rush hour. And he would say to them, if you are not calling right now and pledging your support, you're a loser. You're a freeloader. You make us work for free. You're listening to the station, you're getting news, you're getting culture, you're getting music, and you're not playing your part. This is a non-commercial station. We don't have commercials. And of course, that strategy was then my boss said, you can't do this, Jim. We're not, we don't do this anymore. We don't want to kind of alienate people. We're doing softer pitches right now. And he was correct. And I still have this ambiguity, but I do want to say, and I learned this through the soft pitch strategy. The fact of the matter is, there's two things. First of all, if you are hurting financially, I'm not asking you. I want to keep creating this without a paywall. And that's a legitimate system, the Patreon system. You do some special stuff behind the paywall for the super members, whatnot. I don't want to do that. I want to build an archive of Second Life activities, art, and everything. Also entrepreneurship that is accessible to absolutely everybody, regardless of financial ability. But in order to do that, I have to cover my basic expenses. So this point I want to make, I don't have a product to sell, right? So the difference between what I'm doing and what, let's say, somebody does who makes a successful, even a piece of music. I mean, I'm also a musician. I have a catalog of music where I get fees from the performing rights societies. Very, very little. But it's fun to see, the check coming in every 3 months. It's a couple $100. And I see the breakdown. I make 20 cents in Indonesia for some song I wrote 20 years ago and they used for a movie or whatnot. So this is, if you will, passive income. Making these videos, there is no passive income. It's not like I make an object or a product in Second Life, like a pair of pants, or look at my awesome t-shirt, which you can get for $1.99 on Marketplace. Oh, you can support me buying this t-shirt. Or these pants, right? I mean, there's labor involved in making these pants or this shirt or these goggles. But then once you make them and you sell them and they become a hot selling item, you have, in a sense, a little bit of a passive income. I don't want to sugarcoat it. I don't want to say that these people have it easy, but there's a big difference in making these videos and making something that then becomes a seller that sells frequently or infrequently, but sort of steadily, right? These videos is a lot of work involved, and then you make them, and then they're out there. And then you have to do it again. So this is something for me as a relatively old guy. When I talk with people who want to get into the streaming game or the online content creation game, I do warn them, because you get burnt out really quickly, because you produce something, and a stream is relatively easy. My stuff is very, very the production of the story and the narrative, the sort of the journalistic rigor or the documentarian rigor that I put in there's a lot. So I tell these young streamers or people who want to get into the field, I tell them, you know what? You got to be cognizant that you make something really cool, you put it out there on YouTube or wherever you put it out, you go to bed, and the next day people will demand more. People will demand more, right? And I'm not blaming the people. This is just the name of the game. If you want to get into this field, you're going to put yourself into a hamster wheel. And I've done it for a very long time. And I'm confident, much more confident now, that I don't need to get into this hamster wheel, because what I want to do is to put out quality and put out less but higher quality. And that is even more expensive in the sense that people drop off in the business model of YouTube and streaming. People drop off if the YouTube algorithm sees, oh, there's nothing being posted on this channel, so we're not going to recommend it. So this is another deliberate decision. I don't want to compete with a streamer or a Second Life content creator of media. I want to create an archive as a hobby historian, hobby ethnographer. That's really the goal here. See, now I lost a lot of viewers. I just look at the numbers, and it doesn't bother me. But it doesn't bother me because the people who are sticking with me with my little monologue spiel here are people who are probably interested in the same thing, which is to build an archive and to keep and to have something to look back on, because these worlds are fleeting. I mean, the physical world is fleeting. I'm uh, living close to where I grew up here in the city of Munich, and the house next to is they're building a new house. I mean, I don't want to get completely off a tangent. Everything is fleeting, and what we can do is to find people who have stories, marginalized people, very often people whose stories are not heard, and document them. And that's what I want to be in the context of Second Life. Now we have 54 supporters. We have 8 minutes left. Can we get at least 59 supporters? 5 more. We can do it. Go to kofi.com/Draxter. And if you don't do it, now I'm going to do a Jim Davis. If you don't do it, I'm not going to come back with the Drax Files, World Makers. I'm going to come back with this show, the Drugs Files, Couch Dwellers. If that's not a threat, if you're not going to kofi.com/Draxter right now to stop this terrible fate, of the world. Let's see here. Judy says Susa Bubba was amazing. Pim says looks fantastic. Hope it's still available. No, it's not, unfortunately. Mystic says if Draxter didn't document this, we wouldn't get to know about her work. Yeah. Mystic says support this guy to buy more beer. So this is, of course, talked about this last time a little bit. This is a photo that I have to say, in all fairness, it's not good pedagogy, but I showed this to my son, and I said, this is me here on the left, rolling a cigarette with drum tobacco, and this is a buddy of mine, and we were on the couch in 1987 or 1988, and I got off the couch, and he's still on the couch. So it's not to make fun of alcoholism or drug problems, and I certainly would, I showed him this sort of tongue-in-cheek. I don't want to have this sort of they call it black pedagogy, which is also really kind of an offensive term. In Germany, they call it that. I don't know if they call it in the English word, but in Germany, there's the term schwarze Pädagogik, which is basically kind of what the Catholic Church likes to do. If you don't do this, you will be punished in the afterlife or whatever. So, yeah. Not my thing, but I couldn't resist because a friend of the Second Life book club, the Resistor, was saying the Drugs Files, and this is where this came about. But can we get 2 more supporters? 1 supporter, come on, 1. So we got at 55 supporters. That will be so awesome. 1 more supporter on Ko-fi right now, and I'm going to wrap in 5 minutes. Let me see if I don't know. I have a nice outro video. I have a really nice outro video. Let's see if I have another one set up, and I promised Mystic to put in the Terror Town video. Maybe if I can riff while I'm uploading it, I have to kind of transfer it from one machine to the other via Dropbox, because I have this only here on my other machine. Now, I don't know where the Terratown video is. But anyway, are there any questions or any feedback? Another thing is that what I would like to do, if we get to the support structure, I would like to also just do straight interviews. So this all depends on what support is coming in. Again, the 100 supporters is for me to gauge interest. If there's more sort of money-wise, like actual dollar amounts, then I may be able to add not only the fly-through eye candy type videos, but also maybe just streams of roundtable discussions, of interviews with people, that sort of thing, because that's much less labor intensive to produce, of course, but it's also a way to gauge, not to gauge, but to to reflect what's happening in SL right now. I'm a little hesitant to promise that or to commit to that. I will do it in the third and final fundraising stream in a few weeks. And the reason why I'm hesitant is I did a podcast, draxfiles.com, still out there. Did a podcast from 2014 almost until 2019 maybe, right? And that was fun, but also interest, frankly, waned. And I'm not saying like that's the people, oh my God, the people don't understand and I give them so much. No, maybe I didn't do a good job or whatever. But the reality was we put in a lot of work every week and then people just kind of dropped off. And SL is very fragmented. You know, we can talk about this forever and ever. Fact of the matter is there was no interest and I already did all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to again spend a lot of time on something that is a super niche activity. So we're gonna watch Terror Town, which I think was made by Mystic. She tells me. I hope this is the right video. So I'm downloading it right now. Give me a second. Now I have to put this into the pipeline. How do I do that? Maybe if I get over 100 supporters, I can give myself some sort of like, I don't know, an assistant or something, some such thing. See, now it's getting quiet. It's getting dark. It's getting dark. Will the Terror Town come in? Will it? I don't know. All right, by popular request of one person, glad to comply. This was Terror Town, and you know what? Because Racer X is on the stream. He's watching the stream, and I actually just found the Snails Halloween thing. And this is also something. Okay, let's go a little bit overtime. Although we only have 54 supporters, we can't even get 55. That's really depressing. I'm gonna get into my Jim Davis. You freeloading freaks watching this and not supporting? Oh my God! How embarrassing. Oh, Pim is here. Need a sidekick. Pim, we'll talk about it when we get closer. Send me an email. I will do some thinking around that, and I will come up with some whatchamacallit, concrete plans and formats, and also the calling for submissions, basically, right? That's what I was gonna say. Now let's see here. I think we got the snails. Do we have snails? Let's see here. Give me a second. So what I wanted to say about the snails thing, and Racer, of course, knows that. The funny thing with the snails, the giant snail races in SL, which is completely awesome, and actually the story with Racer and about the snails is in the pipeline. I conducted all the interviews. That's one of the leftover pieces, which I hope I can start putting out in August 24th. Oops, somebody is, I'll like delete the chat here. The snails thing, was a prime example that lived on the Second Life YouTube channel and all their socials for like 5 minutes, and then it was taken down because there was an IP violation. An IP violation. I think I showed there was something Disney in there. I forget. Maybe Racer, if you're still on it, let me know. But anyway, this is of course something where Linden Lab is kind of chill about these things on Marketplace. But of course, if they're on YouTube, that's a more serious thing because YouTube is relentless. They give you a copyright strike and they can take down your channel. So I understand that risk. And of course, because I'm such a guy who is totally not in tune with popular culture, I don't even know these IP things, right? I can't even recognize it. One time I did an awesome video with a bunch of characters, avatars that I bought on Marketplace, and I put them in the scene, and I made this video, sent it to Strawberry for approval, and she says, "You can't use these Pokemon characters. We're gonna get in trouble." And I go, "Pokemon? I heard of that." So I took them straight off market, but they had absolutely no idea what they were. So here is final before we wrap. Popular demand. Hold on, not this one. Here we go, and it's snails.
Hello, my name is Razor X.
Let me start this over. Here we go. So this is the giant snail races Halloween special. And the music was also recorded by me, also stolen here and there. And this video was taken down. This video was live for 5 minutes or 4 minutes. Happy Halloween, folks. Happy Halloween.
Hello, my name is Razor X Going, and I dare you to come down to the Giant Snail Races, the greatest show in Second Life. And this week it is Halloween. Woohoo! This is absolutely hilarious, super silly fun. And they're 45 feet tall. They're very large. It's Halloween ever over. Here at Second Life, Halloween is every day.
There you go. There you go. And that should wrap it. That's it. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for thinking about supporting. And some people messaged me about Linden Dollar support. And I will get back to you as soon as I wrap the stream. But we didn't even talk about where we are right now. We're here at Second Life Book Club, Island number 2. And this is actually a lot of, I don't want to say garbage, but I did unload my inventory to dress up this venue for a couple of guests who came in from Australia, Karen Warren and Kat Sparks, 2 Australian authors. And they work in a real life, second chance mercantile type thing where people get rid of their junk and then sell it. And I found this stuff here in my inventory. Check this out. I mean, it's amazing. I don't know where I got this one here. What even is this? I don't know. Vox amplifier. And this is actually playable here. This Simon Says. Amazing. Rubik's Cube. Lab Chat, which was a short-lived talk show that I developed together with Strawberry. Amazing. Didn't I want to wrap? These Bloom doll avatars. Ooh. I was the favorite SL videographer 2015. I forgot about that. Oktoberfest. The Drax Files cap. It's 10 Linden dollars. You can buy it. Help me out. I don't know if Arden gets the money or I do. I forgot. Save the Prims. Save the Prims. Oh, and this actually, I could give this away as a gift. This is the Drax Vision typewriter slash kind of like a Terry Gilliam type machine, which could be a typewriter, could also be a computer, or could be a television. Wait, I saw one more thing. Oh, here's the cover of Coming of Age in Second Life, Tom Bölsdorf. And where's this? Here. A Nightmare on Prim Street. We did this for the Fluffy series. If Newbie doesn't scream, res screaming, if Newbie doesn't res screaming, he won't res at all. A Nightmare on Prim Street with Fluffy McFluff. Bring back lab chat. Ooh, look at this big book. Fish, Whore, Mama, Pony, Papa, Titanic, Cake, Fish. Oh, this is a book written by Water, I think. If you don't know who Water is, shame on you. He's a great guy. His mother may be irresponsible, but he's great. And what is this? Are these Draxter dollars? These are Drax coins. Better than Dodge coins. Oh, we forgot about this here. Look at this. I forgot about this. This is the demo of my German speed metal band. This is from 1988. Who the fuck are Rotten Bitch? That's quality music. Actually, this is really good. The recording is not that great. There was the songs were fantastic, and actually some of the live recordings are better than this demo. The demo is not bad, but it could have. I think the engineer wasn't that great, but we were pretty good, and we were regionally quite famous. I think I should sell this. I still have a few in cassette form. So here we are at, this is the Green Shed, and you can visit here. This is on Second Life Book Club Island, number 2. I'm going to wrap it, folks. I'm in Germany, so I'm going to go to bed shortly. Thank you for your support. We made it to 54. We didn't quite get to 75, but better than nothing. And I hope that you consider your support, and I'll get back to folks who messaged me about donating in Linden dollars. Goodbye. Have a great weekend. We have a book club on Wednesday, but you know where the calendar is. And I'll bring us out with a nice tune that I've been told is a favorite of people, with some more wonderful montage of videos I made. Bye.
We're all thrown into it, one way or the other. We all try to steer it as straight as we can. Sometimes we collide with each other. Who is to blame, and who's gonna fix the boat? Life, oh life, there's nothing to fear from your life. Let me know if I can be of any help. Life, you and I, let's try a fresh start today. What do you say? Let's close the door on the past. So we swim, and it is in so many ways just a little trick to keep our heads above water. But now I'm not afraid anymore.